All right then. Yeah, welcome everybody. This is our second lecture in the little chat series we have on public humanities and public literary studies. Here as part of the seminar, Public Humanities and Public Literary Studies, and as part of the 25 Humans Humanities Advocacy Group. And today we have with us Paula Clemente Vega, who is with the Open Library of the Humanities, and we just agreed that she would fill in all the details that were necessary from here on out, and then she'd just start with her talk. So thank you very much, Paula, for being here, and I'll leave the floor to you.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Tim. I'm Paula Clemente Vega, and I'm the marketing officer for the Open Library of Humanities, and I also a doctoral student at Vega University, and where the Open Library of Humanities is based, and I'm here to talk about our platform, the Open Library of Humanities, and our consortial funding model for Diamond Open Access. So the Open Library of Humanities is an award-winning academic-led gold open access publishing of 28 journals with no author-facing charges based in the Department of English, Theatre and Creative Writing at the University of London. We are part of an emerging community of scholar-led, community-owned and not-for-profit publishing ecosystem that is exploring different business models and innovative approaches to open access publishing that are adapted to the needs, in this case, of academics in the humanities. The platform was launched in 2015 by Birkbeck academics Professor Martin Eve and Dr. Caroline Edwards, and has been operating as an independent charity until May 2021, which is when the platform merged with Birkbeck University. So with initial funding from the Andrew Mellon Foundation and subsequent support from Arcadia Foundation, we cover our costs through a consortium of more than 300 universities from many corners of the world that pay an annual fee, which depends on the country and size of the institution. Scholar-led initiatives such as the Open Library of Humanities have proven for years now that there are alternatives to the standard APC model, pay to publish, and that it is possible to sustain them in the long term. The Open Library of Humanities was established to challenge the costly limited routes to open access publication in the humanities, and also to find a sustainable business model that will enable academic journals to publish peer-reviewed research without charges to authors or readers, therefore making world-leading research accessible to anyone. Our mission is to support and extend open access to scholarship in the humanities for free, for everybody, and forever. And our actions and strategic plans are informed by our 5 core values, as you can see here, based on openness, excellence, inclusivity, sustainability, and collectivity. So I imagine that most of the attendees here will be familiar with open access, but in any case, for those who may not, I will talk about the context in which the Open Library of Humanities operate. So what do we mean when we talk about open access? So first, to define it, I will focus on the definition, including the Budapest Open Access Initiative, in which open access refers to the publication of academic research that is free for the public to access, read, download, copy, share, or use through the application of open licenses. The main way to achieve open access are the green and gold open access routes. Green open access, also known as self-archiving, is when we deposit research articles in an institutional repository. Academic subscription journals usually require authors to transfer their copyright to the publisher and apply an embargo period that can vary from months to years before the publication can be made available via green open access. Although now, with the entry into force of Planes, the funder organization adhering to Planes have established as a requirement that authors of academic articles retain the intellectual property rights necessary to deposit their version of record in a repository at the time of publication. without embargo periods and under a Creative Commons attribution license. And then we have gold open access on the other hand, which is the one in which the articles are available for free and without access restrictions on the journal website from the moment of its publication. So with this model, the author maintains a copyright of their work and also allows readers to use its content with certain conditions depending on the open license that is being used. The Open Library of Humanities in this case follows the gold road, and the vast majority of the articles published in our journals use the Creative Commons attribution license recommended by Coalition S, which is the one that allows authors and readers the right to reproduce, as I said before, distribute, and make derivative works as long as the author of the original work is credited. There are several ways to implement gold open access, and the best known is perhaps through the implementation of APCs, or article processing charges, in which publication costs are covered by the author's own institutions. That is, authors must pay a fee in order to publish open access. There are also other types of open access business model that don't depend on APC, such as the annual review Subscribe to Open, that allows to convert subscription journals to open access through a subscription model in which institutions subscribe to the journals, and assuming that sufficient revenue is raised, the journal is published open access. On there are also consortial business models such as the Open Library of Humanities for journals, or Quantum Books, Open Publisher for books, where publication costs are distributed collectively among the consortium member institution rather than through the payment of APCs or BPCs for books. Then lastly, there is also hybrid open access, which are those journals that publish both open access articles and subscription access articles. Although now, with the entry into force of Plan S, an attempt is being made to limit the use of these publication channels, which can only be used within a limited period of transition or within transformative agreements between the institution and the publishing organization. And then we have the model proposed by the Open Library of Humanities, which is one when publication costs don't fall on the institution or researchers, but are instead financed collaboratively through an international library consortium, where each member pays an annual fee, reducing and distributing the cost of publication among its members with an economy of scale that improves as more institution joins. So our idea is that research organizations and libraries make a relatively small contribution that covers the cost of running a publication platform on which peer-reviewed scholarly journals can then be published open access. All contributing libraries and individuals are given, on the other hand, a place on the Open Library of Humanities Library Board, which will consult with the Open Library of Humanities Academic Board in the future admission of journals and other governance budgetary decisions. Publishing open access has challenges and opportunities. So the opportunity is that of having research published openly is that it will always improve the speed, efficiency, and efficacy of research, its reproducibility, and the potential of collaboration. Open access also increases the visibility, usage, and impact of research, allowing everybody to benefit from it. For instance, in the Open Library of Humanities in 2020, we published a total of 529 articles, and our articles were viewed more than 1 million of times and were uniquely downloaded I can read that word. And then the challenges of open access have much to do with business models. And one of the main goals of the Open Library of Humanities has been to flip subscription journals to open access, using a business model that doesn't require authors to pay. And that's why the Open Library of that's why the way the open access is implemented is crucial in all this process. So when the Budapest Open Access Initiative was launched almost 20 years ago, there was much optimism about the openness that the web will bring, opening the door to a new world of shared global knowledge in which access to knowledge will enrich the common good. Simultaneously, it has been realized that putting research behind paywalls is both unjust, especially if the research was funded by the taxpayer, and also unhelpful. Scholarly and scientific practices are not advanced by restricting access. However, contrary to the expectation of most of its supporters, the transition to this new publishing model has ended up giving way to an hybrid environment, especially in the global north, in which traditional subscription rates converge with forms of open access, such as gold open access that prioritize article processing charges or publishing fees. The open access movement began as well as a response to address the problem of increasing costs of journals. So for instance, in the past decade, subscription costs for academic journals have risen by 300% above inflation. In addition to exponentially increased research output over this period, with increasing more and more academics producing and publishing research. In parallel, the prices of APCs have also increased, with an average of APC cost nowadays of something between 1,500 and 2,000 euros. Meanwhile, almost 20 years after the Budapest Open Access Initiative was adopted, the publishing giants are more powerful than ever. For instance, Elsevier annual profit generation is currently hovering something around 35 and 40%. And this scenario is not only often impossible to afford for the increasingly reduced funds of the university, it is also particularly difficult to navigate for the departments and academics of the humanities, which have much less funding compared to other research disciplines. The result in this case is the inability of these departments and researchers to cope with inflated prices set by publishers, and is one of the main reasons why this model doesn't quite fit within the humanities as well as Elsevier. It is within this context that scholar-led open access initiative emerged. So they emerged as a result of a frustration and a critical attitude towards the ongoing commercialization of publishing, alongside a growing awareness among scholars of open access publishing options. It was also created as a way of survival, as take, for instance, the example of the humanities with us, the Library of Humanities, or in Latin America with Cielo, Redalic, or Amelica. Therefore, it emerged as a matter of sustainability. So why? This is in part because the APC logic and the humanities don't work well. So the current level of article processing charges or publication fees make gold open access publishing unaffordable for the majority of unfunded humanities scholars. The APC model concentrates cost on a specific part of the system, whether the academic or the institutions, but the money is not necessarily available at those places. At the end, there is not too much different in terms of cost for academic institutions, whether they are paying for subscription costs or for APC costs. The economic problem is still there. So what our consortial funding model for open access does instead is to solve this problem by bringing the distribution of the economics to the basis of our fund business model. So what we have in this case are many libraries uniting together and paying a relatively small amount of money, each one, to cover for the cost of publications while making material available to everybody to read on the internet. The platform, as you can see here, has attracted considerable interest. So along with funding from the Andrew Mellon Foundation, the Open Library of Humanities ongoing costs are met by a consortium of more than 300 academic libraries worldwide, all of whom joined since 2015. Several institutions, as you can see here, have also voluntarily opted to pay a higher rate in order to support the platform, as for instance, the Netherlands Organization for Scientific Research or the Austrian Science Fund. Indeed, it is from each according to their ability to each according to their needs. Institutions continue to join on a monthly basis, and they enable the ever-growing output of the platform to be gold open access without asking authors, member institutions, or their funders to pay any mandatory fee. The Open Library of Humanities supports a diverse range of both large established journals and small specific publications covering subjects as diverse as literature, architecture, history, ethnology, archaeology, linguistics, comics, films, poetry, and theatre. To give just a few examples, Glossa, for instance, here, which is our Journal of General Linguistics, is currently the largest in terms of number of articles published per year. In 2020, Glossa published 132 articles. And then we also have our flagship journal, which is the Open Library of Humanities Journal, which is our second largest publication, and which published in 2020 56 articles. This journal is dedicated to publishing articles as part of our more than 30 thematic special collection, including French language and Spanish language collections. Then we also have some journals that published a smaller amount of publications, such as our German language journal, SFF, which published 17 articles in 2020, or also the international journals of Wales, Britain in English that published only 2 articles last year. So with this, we have demonstrated that a model for high quality open access publishing without article processing charges is possible and also sustainable in the long term. So thanks to the support of our members, the Open Library of Humanities has expanded from 99 supported institutions and 7 journals in 2015, when we launched the platform, to more than 300 supported institutions and 28 journals in 2021. It has 6 full-time staff, funds 3 external commercial university presses, such as Ubiquity Press, Liverpool University Press, and Welsh University Press, to convert the journals to open access, and has developed and launched in 2017 Genaway, which is our own field leading innovative and open source publishing platform, which has been developed fully in-house. During these 6 years, the Open Library of Humanities has made thousands of articles open access under our no author fee system, funded by our member libraries. As I said before, last year, thanks to this consortial funding, we published a total of 529 articles. And in this way, we have shown that academic libraries are willing to pay for open infrastructures as part of their mission, and that the scholars in the humanities don't oppose to high quality peer review open access when there aren't financial barriers along the way. Part of the Open Library of Humanities model that makes it so appealing lies in our journal flipping program, where we have sought to convert existing subscription titles to an open access model without fees. One of our most popular incorporations was the high-profile transfer in 2015 of the editorial board of the Elsevier journal Lingua to a new title, Glossa, which, as I said before, is now published by the Open Library of Humanities on our Genaway platform. It's one of the journals that publish more articles per year. In May 2021, we launched our new agreement with the GIS collections, which include the possibility for UK institutions to voluntarily support the Open Library of Humanities at a higher rate, tied into gold, silver, and bronze, enable us to expand our portfolio of open access journals. This past September, following the generosity of our 11 new higher tier supporters, we were able to open our journal flipping program, and we are currently welcome expression of interest from subscription journals interested in flipping to diamond or gold open access without author facing charges. So by supporting more subscription journals to transition to open access, we aim to ensure the open availability of knowledge as broadly as possible, as per our charitable aims and core mission. These criteria are in place to help create savings for library budgets, to stimulate the commercial business sector to adopt new models for open access, scholarship, and to ensure the highest journal quality for our supporting members. Our publications are distributed through 4 different platforms. As I said before, we have Ubiquity Press, we have Liverpool University Press, and we have Wales University Press, and our own software, Genaway. Genaway is our in-house digital platform, and it was designed for publishing scholarly research material. It was launched in 2017, and it provides a workflow for the submission, processing, and preservation of scholarly materials. It is developed by Professor Martin Eve, Mauro Sanchez, Joe Muller, and Andy Byers at the Center for Technology and Publishing at Birkbeck University of London and the Open Library of Humanities. At the moment, we are in the process of migrating most of our journals that are hosted by Ubiquity Press to our Genaway platform. And this is a process that we expect to have complete by something between this month and the start of January next year. In addition, Genaway is also used by other presses such as Iowa State Digital Press, Huddersfield University Press, Michigan Publishing, the University of Essex, and the University of West London, among others. And will be used soon too by California Digital Library for their preprint publications. The platform has also recently been awarded a grant from the Next Generation Library Publishing Project to test and improve publishing pathways and services for authors, editors, and readers for continued work on Genaway. All our journals, and this is for the researchers that are attending this talk, are compliant with Plan S funded mandates and have been included in the Plan S compliance journal checker tool. Our publications are published under Creative Commons open licenses, mostly Creative Commons attribution license, and our articles benefits from the latest advances in online journal publishing. With high quality presentation, innovative functionality, robust digital presentation, preservation, we use clocks and logs archiving system to create permanent archives for the purposes of preservation and restoration, strong discoverability. Our journals are on DOAJ, Scopus, Google Scholars, etc. All Open Library of Humanities content is also indexed with Crossref and is assigned with a digital object identifier, which means that all our references are made available so that citations can be tracked by the publishing community, and the content is added to the cross-checked anti-plagiarism database. The work that we have been doing have been internationally recognized as an important development for in open access for the humanities and for its innovative business model. We were delighted to have been highly commended for the ALPSP Awards for Innovation in Publishing in 2020, and also to have won a Coco Foundation Open Publishing Award in the category of Open Publishing Models in 2019. and an award for a small digital publisher of the year from the Association of Online Publishers in October 2020. We were also pleased to be able to publish an article on what we have learned from the first half decade of running the Open Library of Humanities in 2020. So what can you do to support the Open Library of Humanities? Well, you can always check if your institution is supporting the Open Library of Humanities. Our list of supporting institutions can be consulted on our site. And if you see that your institution is not yet supporting us, you can always ask your library to join the Open Library of Humanities. Our membership rates are paid annually and normally oscillate something between 900 euros and 2,400 euros, depending on the country and size of the institution. There is also the possibility, in the case of that your institution is already supporting the Open Library of Humanities, to refer us to a friend and gain a 10% discount in the membership. And then we also have our consortial offer, which is aimed at consortia, societies, networks, and scholarly projects interested in joining the Open Library of Humanities as a block and get a discount. Our current offer for consortial groups is a discount of 5% if a group of 10 institutions joins, a discount of 10% if a group of 20 institutions joins, and a discount of 50% if more than 30 institutions joins, and discounts are applied to each institution fee. We already have some consortium that are supporting us, such as SOCUL, which is a consortium of 15 universities from Canada, which have been supporting us since 2017. And we also have 46 institutions from the Healing Consortium of Greek institutions. And then we also have a consortium from the United States of 11 institutions, with both joined in 2019, the Greek consortium and the consortium from the United States. And then the most recent from this summer was the support of the Academic Alliance Consortium of 15 universities, also from the United States. So what can we do to support you? You can always check our resources page, where you can find a collection of essays, interviews, Twitter chats on a wide range of topics, and in collaboration with relevant figures within the open access community. You can also check our facts section to familiarize more with our model for open access publication, as well as to access our collection of posters, infographics, and more informative and promotional material that can be used to help spread the word within your colleagues about the Open Library of Humanities, so they know we exist and they can publish with us. And also, you can also help spread the word within your university and your colleagues about the opening of our journal flipping program, and encourage your peers to flip their subscription journals to open access through the Open Library of Humanities. We are also on Facebook and Twitter, so if you are in this platform, follow us, as we normally share all our new publication, updates, and latest news. And thank you so much for attending this talk. And now is the time to ask questions if you have any.